do it for part 2. Have you guys had part 1?
Yes, we did that Friday. Or Thursday, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because we have part 1, part 2, and I think we got just laid for part 3 as well. And so I think the idea of having part 2 is a little more modern, since we'll remember that in part 1 we were learning about like founding fathers and the beginnings, etc. So this one's more about how government works today, and also the 3 branches of government, which you know a little bit about already. So again, if you've forgotten who I am, which I'm hoping not, my name is Adora Speetoff. I'm 12 years old, and I published my first book, Flying Fingers, when I was 7, etc. And that's how I started teaching. And that is how we came to this U.S. government part 2. So here's some review from part 1. In part 1, we learned that the British ruled over the American colonies and taxed the colonists. The colonists believed that the taxation was unfair because it was taxation without representation. So the colonists, led by George Washington, revolted or rebelled against the British, established an independent government, and created 2 very important documents. The colonists, and these documents were the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Okay, so that's what we learned in part 1. And now on to the presentation. So if you take a look at this tree, it has a lot of branches and smaller branches and sub-branches. And it's pretty given that a strong tree should have branches. The national government of the United States is divided into 3 sections known as branches of government. What are the 3 branches of government? Anybody?
Okay, see what we got here. Dylan, the judicial branch, the legislative branch, and the executive branch.
Very good. So if you take a look at it, the 3 branches of the United States government are executive, legislative, and judicial, or any order in which you like them. And the executive is comprised of the president and his cabinet. The legislative is comprised of the House of Representatives and the Senate. And the judicial is comprised of the Supreme Court. So that is what is inside each of the branches. Now, I actually took a snapshot from the Congress for Kids website, and it says, here's what each of the branches do. So the executive branch is headed by the president. The president carries out federal laws and recommends new ones, directs national defense and foreign policy, and performs ceremonial duties. Powers include directing government, commanding the armed forces, dealing with international powers, acting as chief law enforcement officer, and vetoing laws. So, if you take a careful look at them, then you see dealing with international powers. So what does that mean, dealing with international powers?
Elizabeth?
Like, Britain was the superpower, so you're dealing with the things that Britain puts you under?
Well, when they say dealing with international powers, maybe when you see like President Barack Obama at the United Nations, or meeting at meeting other world leaders, you'd be dealing with international powers, you'd be meeting other heads of state, and also, so what are some examples that you could come up with of a president dealing with international powers?